Friends, I welcome you for today's session. Today we are going to see science part 1, lesson number 10. Topic name is space mission. So all of you open your textbook page number 138. Open and keep, then we'll begin our chapter. Now, before going on today's point, I just want to revise yesterday what we have seen. Yesterday we have seen about need and importance of space mission. Right, then we have seen about the formula for critical velocity, then how the satellites are used in different ways, right? Different points we have seen yesterday. Today we are going to see what are the different types of orbits, right? Different satellite, how they revolve and their types we are going to see. Yesterday I told you about the 3 types. Just I will revise the same once. So open page number 138. Now see, orbits of artificial satellites. Depending on the height of the satellite orbits above the Earth's surface, the orbits of the satellite are classified into 3 categories. As I told you, they are high Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and low Earth orbit. And the short form for it is HEO, means high Earth orbit, MEO, medium Earth orbit, and LEO, that is low Earth orbit. Now we'll see one by one in detail that what it means. Now see, the first one is high Earth orbit. See, what is the definition of high Earth orbit? In bracket it is written, height from the Earth's surface is greater than 35,780 kilometers. If you study that much, the definition is easy for you. Now see what it is. If the height of the satellite's orbit above the Earth's surface is greater than or equal to 35,780 kilometers, then the orbit is called high Earth orbit. So this is the definition for it is. Now what it means, see. If the height of the satellite orbit above the Earth's surface is greater than or equal to 35,780 kilometers, then the orbit is called as high Earth orbit. As we will see in the next solved example, a satellite revolving in an orbit 35,780 kilometers above the Earth's surface will take around 24 hours to complete one revolution, right? So a satellite which is revolving in an orbit 35,780 kilometers above the Earth's surface will take around 24 hours to complete one revolution, right? So it takes near about 24 hours to complete one revolution. We know that the Earth also takes almost 24 hours for one revolution, right? As you know this, that Earth takes near about 24 hours, means one day for completing one revolution. If the satellite is revolving in an orbit parallel to the equator, the time of revolution for the Earth around itself and that for the satellite to revolve around the Earth being the same. And the satellite will appear to be stationary with respect to the Earth. Now remember this, now what is given here. If the satellite is revolving in an orbit parallel to the equator, the time of revolution for the Earth around itself and that for the satellite to revolve around the Earth being the same, the satellite will appear to be with respect to means you understand what it means. For a passenger in one vehicle, another vehicle moving parallel to him with equal velocity appears to be stationary, right? So what is given? That suppose the passenger is sitting in one vehicle and the other vehicle is there in front of you, which is parallel. Moving parallel to him with equal velocity, the speed will be same. What it appears to be stationary. Means when we are traveling in the train, right, you will experience such phenomenon. This is what also happens here also. These satellites are therefore called as geosynchronous satellites. Now what these satellites are called as? They are called as geosynchronous satellites. Since these satellites are stationary with reference to the Earth, they can observe a specific portion of the Earth continuously. Right now, what is the main point here? Now, whatever these satellites are there, they are stationary with reference to the Earth. Means they remain on the one place along with the reference to the Earth. So they can observe a specific portion of the Earth continuously. Means only one portion of the Earth is observed by such satellites continuously. So therefore, they are used in applications like meteorology and for carrying signals for telephone, television, radio, etc. So these geosynchronous satellites, they are used for the applications like meteorology and for carrying signals for telephone, television, radio, etc. Right. So this is about high Earth orbit. Just once again, I will afterwards we'll see. Now we'll move on the second point, medium Earth orbit. Right now, these are the type. This question carries 3 marks. Right. So you have to write all the 3 types. Now second type here it is medium Earth orbit. Now you can see in bracket it is written height above the Earth's surface. It is 2000 kilometer to 35,780 kilometer. Right, this number you have to by heart it. Right, don't change the number. The number has to be written as it is. So height above the Earth's surface, it is from 2000 kilometer to 35,780 kilometer. Now from this only we'll write down the definition. See what is the definition for MU, that is medium Earth orbit. If the height of the satellite orbit above the Earth's surface is between 2000 kilometer and 35,780 kilometer, the orbits are called medium Earth orbits. So this is the definition. So if the height of the satellite orbits above the Earth's surface is in between 2000 kilometer and 35,780 kilometer, then the orbits are called as medium Earth orbits. Now further, the geostationary satellite orbits above the equator. These are therefore not useful in the study of polar regions, right? So what is given now? The geostationary satellites orbits above the equator. So therefore, they are not useful in the study of polar region. For this purpose, elliptical medium Earth orbits passing over the polar regions are used. So for this purpose, what is used? The elliptical medium Earth orbits which are passes over the polar region are used. And these orbits are called as polar orbits, right? So remember the two difference. In above we have seen about geosynchronous satellites. Now here what we have seen about the polar orbits. Now in these orbits, the satellite complete one revolution in 2 to 24 hours, right? In high Earth orbit, what we have seen, it requires 24 hours to complete one revolution, but in medium Earth orbit it requires 2 to 24 hours, right? Means between 2 to 24 hours it requires to complete one revolution. Now some of these satellites revolves in circular orbit at a height of around 20,200 kilometer above the Earth's surface, right? So now what is given, some of these satellites, right, revolves in circular orbit. There we have seen they revolve in the elliptical. Now they revolve in the circular orbit at a height of around 20,200 kilometer above the Earth's surface, and what they are called as global positioning satellites, right? So which are revolving near about height of around 20,200 kilometer. They are called as global positioning satellites. They revolve in such orbit, right? So this is about medium Earth orbit, MEO. Now we'll move on the next type, that is LEO, low Earth orbits. Now see what is written in the bracket. Height above the Earth's surface, that is 180 kilometer to 2000 kilometer, right? If you study this or what is written in the bracket, easily you can write down the definition for all the three orbits. Now see what is the definition. If the height of the satellite above the Earth's surface is in between 180 kilometer and 2000 kilometer, then the orbits are called as low Earth orbit, right? So should understand the difference between each and every type, medium, low and high. Now what is a low Earth orbit? If the height of the satellite above the Earth's surface is in between 180 kilometer to 2000 kilometer, such orbits are called as low Earth orbits. Is it clear? Now we'll see in detail that where it is, where they revolve. Now see, such satellites or these satellites are used for scientific experiments and atmospheric studies revolving in low Earth orbits. Right, so whatever the satellites comes under this, they are useful for the scientific experiments and to atmospheric studies, means weather, climate, to understand that. And depending on the height of their orbit, they complete one revolution in around 90 minutes. Right, so this is the difference here. So low Earth orbit requires only 90 minutes to complete one revolution. Right, just we have seen about high Earth orbit. High Earth orbit requires near about 24 hours to complete one revolution. Medium Earth orbit requires 2 to 24 hours to complete one revolution, and low Earth orbit, it requires only 90 minutes to complete the one revolution. Now, International Space Station and Hubble Telescope also revolves in low Earth orbit. So remember these examples, that is International Space Telescope Station and Hubble Telescope also revolves in the low Earth orbit. Right, and the figure is also shown there, that orbits of satellites, how they revolve. Right, and it is written in the short form LEO, mu, and HU. So this is about types of orbit: high Earth orbit, low Earth orbit, and medium Earth orbit. Right, now we'll move on the next point. Now see, on the same page, page number 139, do you know? Right, just we'll go through that first, and then we'll move on the next point. Now see what is given. A group of students from COEP, that is College of Engineering Pune, made a small satellite and sent it to the space through ISRO in the year 2016. The name of this satellite is Swayam, and its weight is around 1 kg. Right, so just this is an information given. So some of the students, they have made a satellite known as Swayam, and the weight of that satellite is near about 1 kg. Now, what is further? It is orbiting the Earth at a height of 550 kilometers. Means where it is in the low Earth orbit, correct? So it is orbiting the Earth at a height of 515 kilometers, and the main objective of the satellite was to provide point-to-point messaging service using a special method. So this satellite is useful for the messaging purposes. So the height of this satellite is near about 515 kilometers. Means it is there. Means it is what, low Earth orbit. Clear? Then, so this is just an information given about what they have done. Now we will move on the next point. Satellite launch vehicle. Right, page number 140. The point is satellite launch vehicle. Now this point is also very important. Now see what is satellite launch vehicle. Satellite launch vehicles are used to place the satellites in their specific orbits. Right, so remember this. So whatever the satellite launch vehicles are there, they are used for what? To place the satellites in the specific orbit. Means they should not change the orbit. Right. The functioning of the satellite launch vehicle is based on the Newton's third law of motion. So whatever the function we are going to see now about this whole, right, it is based on the Newton's third law of motion. The launch vehicle uses specific type of fuel. The gas produced due to combustion of the fuel expands due to its high temperature and is expelled forcefully through the nozzles at rear side of the launch vehicle. Now see what is given here. Whatever the launch vehicle is there, it is used specific type of fuel. So that we'll see how the fuel is used in the launch vehicle. But whatever the gas produced here due to combustion of the fuel expands due to its high temperature. Expands and it expelled. Expelled means goes out or comes out forcefully through the nozzles at rear side of the launch vehicle. As a reaction of this, a thrust acts on the vehicle, means force. Thrust means force. As a reaction of this, a force or thrust acts on the vehicle, which drives the vehicle high into the space. So because of that, what happened? Because of the force produced, the launch vehicle, means a satellite, it goes up above in the space or in the sky. Right? Maybe you have seen in the television how the force is applied. Now the same thing here we are going to see, that how it goes up in the space. Now we'll see the structure. The structure of the launch vehicle is decided by the weight of the satellite and the type of satellite orbit. Right, now whatever the structure of the satellite, because it has different structures. So whatever the structure of the launch vehicle is decided, it is decided by the weight. Remember these 2 points. It is decided by the weight of the satellite and the type of the satellite orbit. The fuel of the vehicle also depends on this, right? The fuel of the vehicle also depend on this factors, means how much fuel is required for this satellite. The fuel forms a major portion of the total weight of the launch vehicle. So remember this, the fuel has a major weight, right? Means most of the weight of the satellite launch vehicle is of the fuel, right? So the fuel forms a major portion of the total weight of the launch vehicle. Thus, the vehicle has to carry a large weight of the fuel with it. So whatever the that launch vehicle is there, it carries the most of the weight is of only fuel. So it has to carry large weight of the fuel with it. Now to overcome this problem, what they are doing, they will to overcome this problem, launch vehicles with more than one stage are used. So different one stage means different compartments are used in the satellite launch vehicle. Means in this way they can they can decrease the weight of the fuel. So we'll see how it can be done. Due to this, the weight of the vehicle can be reduced step by step after its launching. So step by step, what can, as it goes up above in the space, the weight can be decreased. So we'll see how it is. Now, for example, consider a launch vehicle having two stages. Like just here, we'll see one example. Now, if you see the figure, the figure is given there. Now that figure is composed of 4 stages. But here they have given an example of only 2 stages. Just we'll see the same for about the 4 stages also. So for example, consider a launch vehicle having 2 stages. For launching the vehicle, the fuel and engine in the first stage are used. Now, what is done? Now, whenever the vehicle is launched, right, what they are doing, they are using the fuel which is stored in the first stage. First stage means at the bottom, right? Just look at the figure. So, for launching the vehicle, the fuel and engine in the first stage are used. This imparts a specific velocity to the vehicle and takes it to the certain height. So, what happens when the vehicle is launched? It gives some velocity to the launch vehicle, right, and it moves up into the space and it takes up to the certain height. Now remember, listen carefully. Now once the fuel in this first stage is exhausted, the empty fuel tank and the engine are detached from the main body of the vehicle and fall either into the sea or on the unpopulated land. Now see what happens when the space or when the vehicle reaches up to a certain height, and once the fuel in the first stage is exhausted, means it is complete or it is finished, what happens, whatever the empty fuel tank is there, because now the fuel is finished, so the first stage that will be empty. So the empty fuel tank and the engine both are detached means they are separated from the main body of the vehicle, because now in that there is no fuel, so it will be separated from the main vehicle, and they will fall either into the sea or an unpopulated land. So in this way, what happens, as it goes up above as it reaches more and more height, the weight of the vehicle is reduced, so it can go very fast. As the fuel in the first stage is exhausted or it is finished, the fuel in the second stage is ignited. So what happens after that, the first stage, as the fuel in the first stage is exhausted or it is completed or it is used, then the fuel in the second stage will be used or it will be ignited. However, the vehicle now contains only one stage, that is second stage, right? Here now vehicle, because we have taken an example of 2 stages, so here vehicle contains only one stage, that is second stage. Therefore, the weight now being reduced, the vehicle can move with higher speed. So therefore, what happens, the weight is now being reduced, and therefore the vehicle, the launch vehicle, can move with the higher speed. So in the same way, what happens, the if suppose if it is of 3 stages, 4 stages, similarly the same process goes on. Suppose as it goes up to the certain height, again the fuel in the second stage will be exhausted, then again that second stage it will be get detached from the main engine, and it will be either fall into the sea or in the unpopulated land. Then again the engine in the third stage will be ignited. So the same process goes on continuously, and as the one by one part is detached from it, the speed of the launch vehicle increases. However, the weight now being reduced, the vehicle can move with the higher speed. almost all vehicles are made up of either 2 or more stages. As I told you, now in the figure you can see on the left hand side, one figure is given. So that is the that figure is of 4 stage. So the weight now being reduced, the vehicle can move with the higher speed. Almost all vehicles are made up of either 2 or more stages. As an example, the structure of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, that is PSLV, developed by ISRO of India, is shown in the figure 10.5a. Right? If suppose if the question, if this question comes, and if the figure is asked, you have to draw that figure and you have to explain all these points. So this is an example given of structure of polar satellite, that is PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle developed by ISRO. So you can see the figure. So this is the figure structure of PSLV made by ISRO. So here you can see the 4 stages are there. Now just we'll see at below, that is engine using solid fuel which provides the initial thrust, right? Means when it started, it gives force, and then only the vehicle will start moving up to a certain height. Then first stage, second stage, third stage, and fourth stage in place for the satellite. So in this way the structure is made. So along with that, the space shuttle is also given. So satellite is launched in its orbit and space shuttle returns to Earth. Now what happens? Different parts are given. Separation of fuel tank. As we have seen, as it goes up to the certain height, what happens? The fuel tanks are separated and it falls on the unpopulated land. So separation of the booster rockets, just it is shown with the help of the figure, and the space shuttle. Now see, the launch vehicle are costly, right? Whatever the launch vehicles are, they are very costly because they can be used only once. So they can be used only once. So therefore, US has therefore developed space shuttle, that is 10.5B, as seen, space shuttle, which returns to the Earth except for the fuel tank and can be used in multiple launches. So they have made an such type of space shuttle that this can be reused again and again. That means it can return to the Earth except for the fuel tanks, right? They will not come and can be reused in the multiple launches. So this is about what satellite launch. This question you have to explain properly, right? You have to draw the figure and whatever the points are given, that you have to explain. Must always remember, right? Now, one example is depending on the satellite launch, that how the satellite launch vehicle works. For example, a rocket, a type of firecracker used in Diwali, right? All of you are using that fire rocket. So it works same principle, of like how the satellite launch vehicle works. Now, what you do when you're igniting a rocket, what happens? You will ignite the rocket, and the rocket will start moving in the up to a certain height. So in this rocket, what happens? The fuel is ignited using a fuse, and the rocket is projected into the sky just like a satellite launcher. In the same way, how the rocket works, in the same way the satellite launcher also works. Similarly, so this is the first example. Now see what is the second example. Similarly, if a balloon is blown, just you can try this at home. Just simple example is given. If a balloon is blown and released with its end open, right? You will put some air in the balloon, you can blow it, and you will whatever end is there, if it is released, the air in the balloon is forcefully ejected. Means ejected means comes out, and the balloon is pushed in the opposite direction. So balloon, what happens? Suppose the end of the balloon, suppose the end means whatever the through which we air are blowing, if suppose the end is towards you, then the balloon, and if you release that, the balloon will move in the opposite direction. So you can try this, maybe you have tried and you know this also. So this can be explained using the Newton's third law of motion. So these all are what examples of Newton's third law of motion, right, which you have seen in the first lesson, right? So here we have completed the second point, that is satellite launch vehicle. Now we'll move on the third point, that is space mission away from the Earth. Now see what is given, space mission away from the Earth. As we have seen above, artificial satellites are being used for making our life more and more enriched. So why the artificial, we have seen in the initial yesterday, that why the satellites are used, right? What is the need and importance of the artificial satellites? Means to collect the information with the help of the internet. By because of this, we can use internet, we can contact to a person from one place to another place. So our life is made very simpler, easier. We can save our time. Then, however, in the previous standard, we have learned about how the telescopes aboard artificial satellites are used to gather information about various objects in the universe. You have seen about telescope reflecting telescopes, right? So the same, how can we gather the information about the different planets, etc. Similarly, some space missions are used to gain further knowledge about the universe. So similarly, what is given? Some space missions are used to gain further knowledge about the universe. In this mission, spacecrafts are sent to the nearby objects in the solar system to observe them more closely. Now, in this mission, what happens? Whatever the spacecrafts are there, right? They are sent to the nearby objects in the solar system to observe them more closely. Has been obtained, so they will, whatever the information is gathered, they will store it. They will get that information. So the new information has been obtained from such mission, and it helping us to understand the creation and evolution of our solar system. Means how the the things happens in the solar system with that different planets, different whatever the planets are, how it revolves, how it works, different things we can study from this by gathering this information. Now, for such a mission, the spacecraft must escape the Earth's gravitational force to travel into the outer space. That is escape velocity. Yesterday, we have seen an expression for the critical velocity. If you remember, we have seen one formula: critical velocity is equals to square root of gm upon r plus h. Now, today we are going to see the derivation for the escape velocity. Now, see, to achieve this, the initial velocity of the moving object must be greater than the escape velocity of the Earth, as you have learned in the chapter on gravity. Now, what is given here to achieve this? Means great escape velocity. The initial velocity of the moving object, remember this, the initial velocity of the moving object must be greater than the escape velocity of the Earth, as we have seen in the first chapter. Now, escape velocity on the planet can be obtained using following formula. So we'll see the derivation for the how the formula for the escape velocity can be obtained. Now look in the slide. Now see what is given. Escape velocity on a planet is equals to that is VESC, means escape velocity. Remember this. Yesterday we have seen VC. VC stands critical velocity. Now today here we are going to see VESC, that is escape velocity. Formula for that is square root of 2 gm upon r. Yesterday here also we will see what is the full form. G stands for gravitational constant. The value is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Capital M stands for mass of the planet. The value is 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg. Then R, radius of the planet, that is 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter. Right? By heart, this value sometimes it will be given in the paper, or sometimes it will not be given. So it is better to by heart and understand, because the same thing you are going to use further also. Right? So remember the formula for escape velocity, that is square root of 2 gm upon r. G stands for gravitational constant, that is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Then M, mass of the planet, that is 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg. R, that is radius of the planet, 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter. Right? Now, whatever the values are there, they will substitute that values in the above formula, that is 2 gm upon r. So after substituting the values, right, you have to solve that, and you'll get the answer, that is 11.18 into 10 raised to 3 meter per second. Just convert that into kilometer per second, that is, it will be 11.18 kilometer per second. Now 18 means it will be 2. Round figure will take it. So a spacecraft, to escape the Earth's gravitational force to travel to the outer space, it must have minimum velocity of 11.2 kilometer per second. So what is given here? A spacecraft, to escape the Earth's gravitational force to travel to the outer space, it must have the minimum velocity of 11.2 kilometer per second. Right? So this is the expression for escape velocity. Now just see on the page number 149, just we'll go through that. Now see what is given. Do you know the astronomical object closest to us is the moon? Right? As you know, already we have seen this. The astronomical object closest to us is the moon. Light takes 1 second to reach from moon to the earth. It means that if we travel with the speed of light, it will take 1 second to reach the moon. Means if light takes only 1 second to reach from moon to the earth, it means that suppose if you are traveling with the speed of 1 second, if means one light, it will take only 1 second to reach the moon. However, since the spacecraft travels at much smaller speed, so whatever the spacecrafts are there, they travels at very low speed or at very small speed, it takes longer time to reach the moon. So therefore, it takes so many months to reach the moon. And the shortest time taken by the spacecraft to reach the moon so far is 8 hours 36 minutes. So remember this, till now, whatever the spacecraft is there, shortest time taken by the spacecraft to reach the moon, it is 8 hours and 36 minutes. So remember this, because this can be anything can be asked for the objective types of question. So this is about escape velocity. Right? Is it clear? Right, now we'll see on just on next point, that is moon mission, page number 142. Now see, since the moon is the closest astronomical object to us, the first space mission to object in the solar system were the mission to the moon. Right? Since the moon is the closest astronomical object to us, the first space mission to objects in the solar system were the mission to the moon. Such missions have so far been executed by USA, Soviet Union, European countries, China, Japan, and India. So whatever such missions are there, these missions, since it has been executed, means it has been taken by the USA, Soviet Union, European countries, China, Japan, and India. Now see what is the example given. Just we'll see that example. The spacecraft in the Luna series sent by Soviet Union reached near the moon Luna 2, right? So what is given, the spacecraft in the Luna series sent by Soviet Union reached near the moon. Luna 2, launched in 1959, was first such craft. After that, till 1975, 15 spacecrafts made chemical analysis of the moon and also measured its gravity. So after that, till 1975, means within the span of near about 15 to 16 years, what they have done, 15 spacecrafts made chemical analysis of the moon and also measured its gravity, density, and radiation. Then last 4 crafts even landed on the moon. So this is an information given that what are the things they have carried done. So last 4 crafts even landed on the moon and brought the samples of stones on the moon for analysis in the laboratory. So last 4 crafts, they have landed on the moon and they have brought some sample of the stones for the analysis. Now all these missions were unmanned, means no man was there in that craft. Then America also executed moon missions from 1962 to 1972. The specialty of this mission was some of these were man mission. But what is the specialty of this? That these were the man mission. In July 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first human to step on the moon. Right? In July 1969, the first person to land on the moon was the Neil Armstrong. And in 2008, Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, successfully launched Chandrayaan-1 and placed it into an orbit around the moon. And it sent useful information to Earth for about a year. So for a year, we are gathering the information. And the most important discovery made during the mission was the presence of water on the moon surface. And India was the first country to discover this. So what is the main thing or we have got from this mission, that we are able to find out that there is presence of water on the moon surface. And India was the first country to discover this. Right, so this is just an general information given about the moon mission. And now the last point will same, that is Mars mission. Just we'll go through that point and we'll stop. Now see what is Mars mission. Next to the moon, the astronomical object nearest to the Earth is the Mars. Many nations send spacecraft to the Mars, and Mars mission is difficult and almost half the mission were unsuccessful. However, ISRO's performance in this mission is remarkable and we all must be proud of it. The spacecraft Mangalyaan, made by ISRO using minimum expenses, was launched in November 2013 and was placed into orbit around the Mars in September 2014. It obtained very useful information about the surface of the Mars and the atmosphere around it. right? So this is about Mars mission, right? So here we have completed today's session. So just once again, I will revise what are the things we have seen today, right? Today we have started from the types orbits of the orbit artificial satellites. So as we have seen, there are three types: high Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and lower Earth orbit. That is HEO, MU, and LEO. Then we have seen the definition. Just I will revise in short that what is HEO, what is MU, and what is LEO. So high Earth orbit means what is it means? If the height of the satellite orbit above the Earth's surface is greater than or equal to 35,780 kilometer, then the orbit is called as high Earth orbit. Then second we have seen about medium Earth orbit. Medium Earth orbit means if the height of the satellite orbit above the Earth's surface is between 2,000 kilometer to 35,780 kilometer, then the orbits are called as medium Earth orbit. Just I'm revising the definitions and how much time it takes. And how much time it takes the orbit, this satellite completes one revolution. It takes 2 to 24 hours to complete one revolution, and high Earth orbit requires 24 hours to complete one revolution. Then next we have seen about low Earth orbit, that is LEO. If the height of the satellite orbit above the Earth's surface is in between 180 kilometer and 2000 kilometer, then the orbits are called as low Earth orbits, right? This, depending on the height of their orbits, they complete one revolution in around 90 minutes. They requires only 90 minutes to complete the one revolution. Then we have seen the main important point, that satellite launch vehicle, that how it works. Just I will explain in short that how this satellite launch vehicle works. Just we'll move on the structure straight away. Right, so what we have seen, the structure of the vehicle is decided by the weight of the satellite and the type of the satellite orbit. The fuel of the vehicle also depends on this factor. The whatever the fuel is there, it forms a major portion of the total weight of the launch vehicle, and thus the vehicle has to carry a large weight of the fuel with it. To overcome this problem, launch vehicles with more than one stages are used. So it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, whatever, right? Here just we have taken an example of 2 stages. So due to this, the weight of the vehicle can be reduced step by step after launching. For example, just consider a launch vehicle which is made up of 2 stages. So for launching the vehicle, the fuel and the engine in the first stages are used. So for launching the vehicle, what we are doing initially, we are using the fuel and the engine from the first stage. So this imparts a specific speed or velocity to the vehicle, and it takes up to the certain height. Once the fuel in the first stage is exhausted or it is completed, finished, then what happens, or it is used, the empty fuel tank and the engines are detached from the main body of the vehicle and fall either into the sea or on unpopulated land. So what happens once the fuel in the first stage is exhausted, right, or it is used, whatever the empty fuel tank and the engine are there, they are detached from the main body of the vehicle and they fall either on the sea or on the unpopulated land. So further what happens, as the fuel in the first stage is exhausted, the fuel in the second stage starts igniting, right, or it is ignited or it is used. However, the vehicle now contains only one stage, that is the second stage, and the weight of the launch vehicle, it is now reduced, and therefore the vehicle can move with the higher speed. Right, now suppose if it is of third stage, as I told you, so what will happen, the vehicle, whatever the fuel is there from the second stage, it will be exhausted, right? Then again that part will be detached, it will be fallen on the either in the ocean or on the unpopulated land. Again the whatever the fuel is there in the third stage, it will be ignited. So in this way the same process goes on continuously. The weight of the vehicle, launch vehicle is reduced, and the vehicle will move with a higher and greater speed in the space or into the sky. Then the weight, almost all vehicles are made up of either 2 or more stages. So an example is given. An example, the structure of polar satellite, that is launch vehicle, that is PSLV, developed by ISRO. Right, the figure is shown there. So both the figures are there. This is the structure of PSLV made by ISRO, and the second one is space shuttle. You can see in that how the parts are detached. separation of booster rockets and separation of fuel tank, space shuttle, everything is shown in the figure. Then we have seen one example that about the rocket, that whatever we are using the firecracker we are using in Diwali, right? It works on the same principle, that how the satellite launch vehicle works, right? This all works on the Newton's third law of motion. And second example we have seen about the balloon, right? If the balloon is blown and is released with its end open, the air in the balloon forcefully ejected and the balloon is pushed in the opposite direction, and this also explained by using the Newton's third law of motion. And at last we have seen the expression for the escape velocity. So just I will tell in short what is the expression. Now, what is given to achieve this? The initial velocity of the moving object must be greater than the escape velocity of the Earth, as we have learned in the chapter of gravity. So the escape velocity VAESC is equals to square root of 2 gm upon r. So G stands for gravitational constant, that is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. M, capital M stands for the mass of the planet, 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg. Capital R means radius of the planet, 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter. Now what you have to do, whatever the values are given, you have to substitute that in the above formula. So after substituting and after solving, you'll get the answer, that is 11.18 into 10 raised to 3 meter per second. And just you have to do it, 18 means it will be 2, or you can write 18, it's 18 or 2. So therefore the spacecraft, to escape the Earth's gravitation, to travel to the outer space, it must have the minimum velocity of 11.2 kilometer, right? And next we have seen about moon mission and Mars mission. Now whatever the next point is there, just we'll see in the next page. Last point is there, Indian and space technology, and we'll see the what are the important questions, right? So hope so all of you understood. Go through each and every point what we have seen, revise it, learn it. Okay, thank you students.